It was not guilty on both counts. I was just dumbfounded. I've just written sort of not guilty and then not guilty again. And yeah, I can't believe it. I've won my first Crown Court trial in the midst of everything that was going on. I'm so pleased. It's a victory in so many ways. I can't wait to phone Chambers and let them know what the result was. So, hi Steve, it's Kokoli. Hello. I've just been acquitted of both counts on the indictment, so I'm free for work. Sorry? Of both of them. I'm really pleased. No, it's one of the guys from your brother's chambers, actually. He's very good, yeah. No, I'm really pleased, but that means I'm free for tomorrow. So, I can do that thing, so... Yes, I will be, yes, absolutely. All right, take care. Thanks a lot. Bye, bye. I'm really pleased. He couldn't believe it. My clerk couldn't believe it. He said, what, both of them? Yes.
The Queen on the application of Edwards against the Environment Agency and others. Counsel.
A report from the Appellate Committee in the appeal, the Queen on the application of Edwards and another against Environment Agency and others, Lord Hoffman.
My Lords, for the reasons contained in a speech which I have prepared and which is available in print, I would dismiss this appeal.
And for the reasons that he gives and for some further short reasons of my own, I would dismiss the appeal.
And I too would dismiss the appeal.
I too would dismiss this appeal.
I too would dismiss this appeal.
Lillian has lost her appeal. The Law Lords have ruled that there was enough information for the cement factory's permit to have been legally granted.
Don't forget your bags and coats, please.
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'll do the best you could.
Well, the result was not it is dealing with a position as the was with 5 years down the line.
Which I find very unsatisfactory.
Very frustrating, yeah.
And I just feel there's no access to justice for people. You know,
Don't say that.
Well, I do actually feel that.
Yeah, no, I don't understand why you feel that.
And, you know, then perhaps the lower court should have sort of made their point more clearly than they did, you know, instead of the way that they handled it, led us on to go on, when perhaps, you know...
This is a disastrous result for Lillian, and things could get even worse, as she may have to pay the other side's costs.
Well, Lillian, I'm sure Lillian is absolutely sort of horrified and you know, gutted at having lost. Understandably so, because she's staked a huge amount of money and time and so on in doing all this. She's been really involved in it, I think pretty much full time for several years now, and you know, put money at risk and so on. So from her point of view, it's, I suspect, quite devastating. She's potentially liable for the Environment Agency and indeed possibly Cemex's legal costs of the proceedings, and that could be many tens of thousands of pounds. It may well be that the House of Lords will take a more generous view and decide that she doesn't have to pay all the other side's costs, but she's at least in theory exposed to the other side's costs, which is obviously quite dramatic from her point of view.
The Law Lords later decided that Lillian should pay the Environment Agency's costs, which could be as much as £100,000.
And I'm sure it's done as a way of making sure that any ordinary person can't afford to challenge any of these decisions. Well, I mean, for me personally, obviously financially, you know, it could mean that I might lose my house, but we've offered to pay, if I have to pay it in £5,000 a year. So I don't have the money to pay it, so I'll have to find some means of either raising the money or earning the money or winning the money on the lottery.
As another year draws to a close, Middle Temple gather for their annual carol service. Some traditions will never change, but barristers are having to adapt to a world full of challenge and uncertainty.
The real question is whether the government is investing enough in our legal system to make sure that the legal system thrives, and in particular in legal aid, to make sure that people have access to the best advocates, no matter what their financial circumstances. We are, as we speak, getting into a phase where I fear that barristers are going to move out of certain parts of legal aid work, and we need to work with government to make sure that they are encouraged back in.
I think there are undoubtedly some barristers and people involved in the bar who are sort of pretending these changes aren't happening, when I happen to think they're wrong. I think these changes are going to be potentially greater and will affect everybody. So I think some of them will have a surprise, and that's no bad thing if they get a slightly rude awakening and have to up their game. That's in the public interest. That's what providing a service to the public is all about.
Whatever the future holds for the bar, the determination of those seeking to join this ancient profession is undiminished. In this series, we followed 4 students through their training and in their search for a job.
The facts of this case are quite simple. Mr. Oxford agreed to supply a cake for the 10th anniversary party.
Stop there. You're delivering this in almost a monotone, and it's boring.
After 40 rejections, Kat Piercy finally received 2 pupillage offers.
All well? Having fun?
Yeah. She's chosen Keating Chambers in London, one of the country's leading specialists in construction law.
Mr. Oakley, you've told the court that you were getting ready for a boys' night out at your friend David Foley's house. And it was free ladies' night that night, wasn't it?
Jo Darby was always going to be a high flyer. After a career in theatre, she switched to law in her late 20s. She quickly gained a pupillage and is already a tenant in her hometown of Newcastle.
Good, OK. There's some nice stuff there, Jo. You've got a really nice tone and manner, cross-examination. I think that was strong without being too much. I wouldn't have used the word pissed, personally.
Anna Duana Kluger had to resit one of her bar exams, but after she passed, she won a 6-month scholarship to work in a Canadian law firm.
Oh, that's excellent. That's really good. That's really good. That's fantastic.
When she comes home, she'll resume her search for pupillage.
Thank you. That's really good.
Iqbal also won a scholarship covering the entire cost of his fees at bar school. He's now about to start pupillage in his hometown of Birmingham, specialising in family law.
The great thing about the bar, the reason that I'm here at the bar and not anywhere else, is so much of it depends on what you are and what you bring to the table and what you are in terms of a person, in terms of your skill set, in terms of your ability. So it's very easy to say, oh, well, you know, the bar's going all pear-shaped. But actually, if you're a very good advocate, there'll always be a demand for a good advocate.
And finally, Kokoli, who faced down the objections of her colleagues to get her name on the door.
I feel very confident about the future, having come back from winning my first Crown Court trial. It sort of puts you in good stead for the future, because it's instilled my confidence back into my abilities, which was slightly shaken over the last few weeks. I really see the bar as a vocation for people, and I know that I'm doing the job that I was meant to do.
To learn more about lawyers and for a free Open University booklet, go to bbc.co.uk/barristers or phone 0870 900 0303.
Zimbabwe descends into a cholera epidemic, but still Mugabe refuses to go. I'll be asking the government if there's the international will to act. And on review, Baz Luhrmann's great big epic Australia, starring Nicole Kidman and Hugh Jackman.
And next on BBC Two, it's QI.